Good morning. You are all set.
Okay, thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. This is a meeting of the West Hartford Community Planning and Economic Development Committee. The time is 8:02, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. First, I want to recognize the people who are here today. We have Todd DeMay, Greg Summer, Mayor Cantor, our town manager Rick Ledwith, Deputy Mayor Ben Winograd, Councilman Alberto Cortez, and the first order of business, is there a motion to approve minutes from the last meeting? Anyone? Thank you. Is there a second? Ben, that has to be you.
Yeah. Second.
Okay, and then we'll move on to item B, which is a resolution authorizing the town manager to participate in the Climate Resilience Fund. And I will let Rick tell us about that.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone. By way of background, about a year ago, we applied for a $700,000 grant from the Climate Resilience Fund. This fund is administered by the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Agency. The great news is we're awarded this grant, which will allow us to hire a consultant to evaluate the culverts and brooks and essentially the drainage system in the Kennedy Brook and Kane Brook watersheds. And this will allow us to provide ways to improve drainage in those areas and minimize flooding as well. And the report will essentially identify reconstruction that would need to be take place. And in that case, we would add that reconstruction into our stormwater management program. The project also extends into Hartford along New Park Avenue. So the study does include Hartford as well, but we'll be running the program through West Hartford. So what would happen, assuming we'll answer some questions that folks have, but this would be on the next council agenda by way of resolution, and the council would adopt on receiving this grant at the next town council meeting. And then through you, Madam Chair, I'll just pause there and turn to Greg Summer to see if there's anything I missed with that summary.
Good morning, everyone. Greg Summer, West Hartford Town Engineer. Rick, I think you covered most of it. Obviously, we will be working with the city of Hartford, but West Hartford will retain, run and manage the project. So Hartford is a partner, but it's not like we're trying to split funding between the town and the city.
Thanks, Greg. So through you, Madam Chair, happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, no one has any questions. Or Mayor Cantor, do you have any questions? I can't see you.
I don't.
Okay. So I don't think we're doing item C.
So thanks, Madam Chair. We will respectfully request to move this agenda item to our June meeting. And discussing, and as folks know, we've had a draft of the final plan for a couple of months now. But in speaking with our Deputy Corporation Counsel and our town planner, at the conclusion of last week's legislative session, there may have been some slight modifications to 830G that we may need to potentially incorporate into our plan. We just need a couple of more days to research those changes before presenting our final plan. So We will do that over the next couple of days and put it on our agenda for the June meeting for final approval from the CPED committee. I'm happy to take any questions from the committee on that, but otherwise we'd move it to the June 19th meeting. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, I don't see any questions.
Actually, it'd be June 18th. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We have Juneteenth off, yes.
So are there any communications that aren't?
We do not, Madam Chair, have any communications this morning. And then we would jump right into the community development report.
Okay.
But before I turn things over to Todd and Greg, I wanted to take a moment to thank both of them for stepping up over these last few weeks, serving as co-acting directors of community development while Dwayne is out. They've both been doing an exceptional job in this role while continuing to serve as our town planner and town engineer as well. So a big thank you to both of them. And they will continue to serve in these roles likely for the next 6 to 8 weeks anyways, while Dwayne recuperates. So you'll be seeing and hearing a lot more from us in the coming weeks. But through you, Madam Chair, I'll turn it over to both of them. I know they're going to split the report up. Todd was going to do the building department overview and planning and zoning overview, and Greg would handle the engineering update. Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know who, Todd, do you want to go first or is it Greg?
I think Mr. Summers is going to go first, and I'll jump in after he's done.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Once again, Greg Summer, town engineer. Just some brief staffing updates. So the building division is actively recruiting a building inspector position that's currently posted. The engineering division recently hired a engineering technician 1 position that was vacated by a recent somebody that departed the town. So Andrew Chase has started with the town a couple of weeks ago. He's working out very well. He actually lives in town also. So he's a great fit, came to us from the city of Bristol, doing similar construction inspection work over there. So happy to have him on board. And then in planning, there's currently a vacancy with the zoning enforcement officer. A recent promotion of Mr. Robert Goslin to associate planner has created that vacancy. So that's actively being recruited to fill that position as well. So at this time, I'll move into the engineering report. So Vision Zero, as you know, we recently hired Parker Sorensen. He's been with us for a month and a half, 2 months now. He's been doing some great work on primarily focused on our Vision Zero efforts. His current focus has really been on the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant application that's due tomorrow. So he's been doing some fantastic work on that application. All total, I think it's coming out to be just about $4.5 million that we're looking to apply for through that funding mechanism through the federal DOT. So we should hear from that shortly. Essentially, it's addressing a lot of the action items that we've identified in the Vision Zero action plan. So we'll be looking at the safe routes to schools, looking at red light cameras as well, kind of building off of the speed enforcement camera program that we've already received through this same program. And basically the whole grant is really focused around that vulnerable user group. So both pedestrians and cyclists is really what we're looking to make those safety improvements around. So that's exciting, and like I said, that'll be submitted later today or tomorrow, and we should hear from that shortly. We're also, as it pertains to Vision Zero, we're also working on our bike facility plan, getting an update on that. That's basically, we pulled that together back in 2016 as part of the Complete Streets program. So it's due for a refresh. So we're working with FHI Studio to revamp that plan, partnering with Pedestrian Bicycle Commission, looking for feedback and comments from that commission, we'll incorporate that and then look to move to a public information meeting in early June to present that information and get some additional feedback and comments from the public. Our neighborhood reconstruction program is in full swing. We started work on St. Augustine. So this is our annual reconstruction where we're doing new granite curbing, select sidewalk, driveway aprons, drainage, and then actually rebuilding the roadways. So St. Augustine was the first street. We have 3 others: Warwick Street, the western block between Troutbrook and Robin, Pleasant, and Highland Street are all on the list. Highland's a little bit of a hybrid. There's already granite curbing, but the road conditions kind of warranted a little more than just a standard mill and pavement treatment. So we'll be working on that later this summer to minimize impacts to Bristow Middle School right there. As far as our roadway resurfacing, that also is just getting kicked off this week. We're actively working on 5 streets. So that's Boulevard, piece from Riggs to South Main. They're milling that today. Brunswick Avenue, Keeney Avenue, Talcott Road from Quaker Lane to Grassmere Road. That was milled yesterday. And Troutbrook Drive from Clarendon Drive to South Quaker Lane. That's the southern section. That was completed on Monday. So once the milling work is all complete, next week we'll begin our paving portion of that program. So you'll see those streets being resurfaced the next couple of weeks. Our Park Road rehabilitation project, we had previously met with the Park Road Association, gotten some preliminary feedback on an early concepts, just kind of presenting that project. This is the section from Quaker Lane South to Prospect. So we're in the process of kind of developing a full concept for that whole corridor that will then take back to that stakeholder group and eventually the public to get comments and feedback before we progress to a full design. The intent of rebuilding that section next year. Our new Park Complete Streets project is moving forward. We have a stakeholder meeting planned for early June. That's working with VHB on the section from New Britain Avenue up to a little bit past Oakwood Avenue. So this will be the first cycle track that we have proposed as part of this project. So we're excited to kind of pilot that and see how that will unfold. But I think we have good support from the business community and also the Pedestrian Bicycle Commission. So we're eager to see that project through. So again, the plan would be to get design completed this year and then roll into construction in 2025. Our traffic calming on Woodrow Street, you may have probably heard some back and forth with this. Still trying to finalize and reach a resolution with the neighborhood to try and reduce some of the traffic volumes on Woodrow Street. We had a semi-diverter in place at the Ellsworth intersection. We recently added a trial semi-diverter at Arapahoe, which hasn't been going so well. So the plan is to at least remove that, if not relocate it to Ellsworth, so that kind of pair it with the temporary one that's out there already. So still hearing from the neighborhood, trying to get some consensus among that group, so that we're not just moving things around and creating confusion for the traveling public. So hopefully the next move is the last one, and then we'll continue our traffic counts monitoring, make sure it's having the desired effect, and then we'll look to make those permanent if indeed that's warranted, probably later this fall. And then the last update I have is the Troutbrook Trail Phase 3. This is the final section from Park Road to Jackson Avenue. This is just out to bid currently, so we're very excited to see this project through and then bring the whole trail just over the 3-mile stretch to completion. So that would happen later this summer or fall. Construction wrapped up by the end of this calendar year. So very excited about that project. With that, through you, Madam Chair, I would turn it over to Town Planner, Mr. Dumais, for the planning and then also the building division updates.
Thank you, Mr. Summer. First, I'll highlight the building inspection division. This is entering the busiest time of the year for the building division, and as referenced in their permits processed, They continue to remain incredibly active, 840 permits processed during the month of April, well over 1,000 inspections, 1,032. The actual number of plan reviews is also up last month or year over year at 847. But the positive thing with all that activity is the building division continues to find efficiencies with their new staffing and online permitting system. And you can see in the report, both the average plan review time is now down under 28 days, down to 25. And the permit processing time has dropped down and remains low at 2 days. So a great job by the building division staff. They are incredibly busy and likely be so over the coming summer construction months, which is their historically busiest time of the year. For the planning and zoning division, we continue to support various boards and commission, town council included, and those boards and commissions, principally the Wetlands Agency and the council and your zoning authority remain incredibly active. We've processed and had a number of hearings, mostly wetland hearings on the planning and zoning side. We meet every month. We received a new application, and this is for a significant redevelopment on 1800 Asylum Avenue. So the council will recall 1700 Asylum Avenue went through a wetland approval process. This is the east side of the former UConn campus. You approved the special development district back in April. That is approved and will likely move forward with building permitting in the coming months. The developer and the developer's team have submitted a wetlands application that was received by the Wetland Agency last month. That meeting is scheduled for public hearing on a special date on June 24th. So I wanted the council to be aware of that. That may not get through the approval or review process in one evening, but at some point in the near future, if that is successful, I would expect a special development district application to be submitted for the council's review. At the same time, I did want the council to be aware, and I know the manager is sending you updates and notifications on agendas, that this is a design review advisory committee is also starting to re-engage with the developer and their team and looking at updated architecture, site plan, and landscaping that's contemplated in that redevelopment. And that is my update for both planning and zoning. And I'm happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Are there any questions? Okay. Seeing no questions. Doesn't appear that there's any future agenda items on here. Do you have anything else, Rick, before we adjourn the meeting?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So for our next meeting, we will bring the affordable housing program back to the committee. We will likely have an update on the wayfinding signage project as well. And we'll also have an update on the center infrastructure master plan as well. So as folks know, through that process, we had a meeting with the public back in April. And at that meeting, the consultant as well as staff had presented what we would internally refer to as a hybrid plan. It was a plan that was in between the original plan that we had presented back in November. But after feedback and follow-up with some of the business owners, we looked at potentially modifying that plan. And since then have also received feedback from our community expressing a strong interest in maintaining that original plan, option A, from November. So we've asked the consultant to pause on the redesign as we continue to assess both of those options, and would be back with the council with the recommendation probably for the June meeting as well. So June meeting could be a busier meeting for all of us. So appreciate your patience as we move through some of these very important projects. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So we'll take the 40 minutes that we're giving from this meeting and add that to
That's right.
the June
Indeed.
meeting, so we'll come
Indeed.
out even. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.